What's up? It's game day. Clones are 2-0. Clones are a Big 12 championship contender at this point in the year. Homecoming in Ames, 2:30 kick. Clones, Texas Tech. I'm Chris Williams here with your game day show. Of course, we are presented by our friends at the Iowa Clinic and the Iowa Clinic Men's Center, where we're always encouraging you to go get your flu shots, get your physicals. It's more important now than ever, guys, with everything going on in the world. Check them out, iowaclinic.com. Also, shout out to the Iowa Clinic and the Iowa Clinic Women's Center. If you go to cyclonefanatic.com, you notice we have some pink borders for Breast Cancer Awareness Month. Shout out to them. All right, looking ahead to today in the Big 12. That's where we'll start our Saturday morning top five. I'm fired up. Really good 11 o'clock games today. And we'll start with the Red River Shootout, the Desperation Bowl in Dallas, Oklahoma, and Texas. Crazy storylines here. I mean, the fact that, Oklahoma could be 0-3 in the league by the end of the day, which is crazy. Texas could be almost out of contention for a Big 12 championship, too. We're really all watching this game, but for vastly different reasons compared to what we normally are in the Red River Shootout. The last time Oklahoma went into this game unranked was 2005. The battle for purple power in Fort Worth, TCU, Kansas State. Kansas State, a surprise team early on in the Big 12. I think TCU is too. But, Skylar Thompson, we got to figure out if he's going to play. That game has major Big 12 championship game implications. I'll be keeping an eye on everything going on in Fort Worth. All right, let's go to the varsity game. Enough of the junior varsity crap. It's the Clones. It's Texas Tech, baby. And I'm fired up for this football game, but the thing is, Iowa State has to be able to avoid a letdown. I think that they will. Texas Tech's a pretty good football team. I know that they're 0-2, but nonetheless, it's a pretty strong 0-2. The Red Raiders should have beaten Texas at home, and with the backup quarterback, they were right in that game last week against Kansas State in Manhattan. I think it's a pretty good football team coming to Ames today, but you always have to guard yourself against that letdown after a big emotional win like Iowa State had last week against the Oklahoma Sooners. Looking to Texas Tech's quarterback situation today. So, here's the situation for folks who are more novice fans and don't follow it day by day. They've got the Bowman kid. He got it dinged up. You saw him last year. He got dinged up last week. Leg injury. They call him day to day. Then there's a new kid. Columbi is his last name, all right? Dual threat guy. I'm actually a little more concerned about him. He completed 71% of his passes in his debut last week. His background, a transfer from Utah State. He followed his head coach, Matt Wells, all the way to Lubbock. I hate backup quarterbacks. I don't know about you guys. Brian Luke, Chase Daniel, Brad Banks. I've had enough backup quarterbacks ruin my day as a Cyclone over the years. Give me Bowman. I don't want the backup. I want no part of this dual threat backup. We'll see who ends up playing today. All right. What do you do if you're Iowa State's defense? And I think the one thing, if you can somewhat make the Red Raiders one-dimensional, man, that would go a long way in Iowa State starting off 3-0 in the Big 12 today. So how do you do that, you ask? Well, they've got a really good tandem at running back. Two guys, they've got a thunder and lightning type of situation. Yeah, I know Matt Wells well. Matt Wells is going to try and run the football against Iowa State's three-man front, and I think John Haycock knows that too. So what do? How many guys are you bringing up? Feeling out period. We saw it last week. It's what John Haycock likes to do. But if Iowa State can slow down that running game of Texas Tech and make them sit back in the pocket and be one-dimensional, I like Iowa State big today. That goes to the other side of the football. Iowa State on offense, and the running game is going to be crucial. Iowa State is really game planning, guys, this year around its running game, around Breece Hall, and I think that Matt Campbell and Tom Manning have shown us the last couple of weeks there is a lot of faith in this it's inexperienced, but I think it's a very talented offensive line. Breece Hall's had 3 100-yard games so far this year. I think today he makes it 4. And if Iowa State can run the ball efficiently, then I like Brock Purdy taking his chances down the field, hitting some of those big wide receivers and tight ends on the deep shots. and I like Iowa State to win this football game. But I think it's closer than a lot of people think. The point spread on this thing, 12.5, 13 points. It's been flirting around there all week. I like Iowa State today in a lower scoring game than most people think, 34-24. That's my prediction. I got the Cyclones going 3-0, heading into a very important bye week next week, prior to maybe the biggest game of the season, definitely up till now, which would be a road trip to Stillwater and Oklahoma State. It could be a battle for outright first place in the Big 12. So there you go. Homecoming. I hope you guys enjoy it. Now remember, we've got all sorts of stuff going on here with Cyclone Fanatic and our social media accounts throughout the day. I'm actually really excited. I'm going to take my daughter, Cameron, the 5-year-old, to the game. I've never gotten to do that, for real. So I'm really excited. I'm going to take her, going to sit in the stands with her. I'll be here for all your post-game stuff, but Matt Van Winkle, Jared Stansberry, and former Cyclone quarterback Brett Meyer will be here at halftime on all the feeds, and they're going to break it down for you what we saw in the first half. Following the game, of course, I'll have instant reaction on the Cyclone Fanatic Podcast Network, and we will have the Cyclone Fanatic post-game show with Jared Stansberry and Rob Gray approximately 2 hours after the game here on all the Cyclone Fanatic social media feeds. It's the Cyclone Fanatic Game Day experience, baby. Iowa State and Texas Tech, 2:30. Of course, you can listen to the Iowa Pork-powered Cyclone Fanatic Tailgate Show on 1460 KXNO and 106.3 FM. Jeff Woody and Jared Stansberry will have that for you at 11:30 later on today. Thanks to Matt Van Winkle for producing today's Game Day program. I'm Chris Williams. Again, the pick, 34-24, Cyclones today. Lower scoring, but a convincing win nonetheless.